Charles Sommer. I'm a leadership and executive coach based in San Francisco. I first came to hear about CFJ through my coach at the time. My coach, Helen McLaughlin, and I had been working together for some time. I kept saying I wanted to play a bigger game was my language at the time. I was searching around for programs. I was searching around for what that next step might be for me, and came across through my coach the work of Steve Chandler and Carolyn, and got really curious about what was on offer from her. I had had exposure to coaching in my previous profession and had an executive coach in that time. And I had just like an inner knowing that coaching was something I was deeply curious about. I wasn't quite ready to declare it something I wanted to do, at least fully. Then yeah, I through some life events and some curiosity of my own, made a transition towards coaching. And in doing that, had hired this coach and I had just gone through a training program and was about a year in, a little less than a year in, to my own practice, as I called it. And it was fledgling and definitely just getting underway. I was giving it a go at having my own practice. So many challenges I was facing at that time. The things that stand out, well, what I would have said at the time was money. Money was like the number one thing. I remember using the analogy of action movies where the plane is taking off and the runway's crumbling behind it. That was what my experience was in starting my own business. So I was scared. I was totally scared of if I could do this, what might occur, how to create money, how to create my own income, and how to create clients. I had had a couple big wins right early in my career. So I had this sense that this could just be done. And I knew it wasn't going to be that easy. And that's about all I knew. And I went from there. So I remember the way I took the leap, or I guess the reason I took the leap to do the CFJ school was really like, again, I had an inner knowing that I wanted to play a different, and at the time I was saying a bigger game. Where I came to land was that I wanted to put my stake in the sand for me and for the business that I dared to dream about creating. For me, that was a certain level of income, that was a certainly number, but also kind of clients that I was working with, a feeling of expansion inside of me and for the people around me. And I wanted to serve and serve folks fully. It was in thinking about what seemed scary for me and also what the stake in the sand would be. And I got really clear that it was going to be some program working with some coach that was scary for me. And in that clarity, I discovered Carolyn and discovered the CFJ school. And so much about what she was saying, doing, who she was being, was really resonating with me and where I was in my life at the time. I actually didn't know. Like I knew when I first, like there was this stake in the sand moment when I was like, I want something else, right? Like I don't know what it is, but I want to do something. And once I got clear that it was CFJ and it was that school, which was horrifying, by the way. It was very scary. It was scary to talk with Johnny. I remember having butterflies. I remember receiving Johnny's email, taking it to my wife and saying, no one talks like this, in a way that I was very curious about. I felt very seen by someone I had never met, which was an interesting experience to have. And once I had had a conversation with Johnny and a conversation with Carolyn a little more, I got clear that not only did I want growth in my business, I also was looking for a space to create community in a coaching context. And also I was looking for a space to like fully create for me in service to those around me. And that was something I began to see possibility in increasingly unfolding ways and continue to this day. The elements of the school that really stand out, community screams at me. There's so many different levels of that. Like Carolyn has done an incredible, and all the faculty have done such an incredible job at creating a space that is for you and for everyone. It's loving, it's supportive, it's challenging. There's certainly a lot of learning and a lot of growth that occurs. And coaching can be isolating. The profession can be very isolating. And it was powerful for me to learn that not only does it not have to be, Carolyn provides an incredible space, and the CFJ school provides an incredible space to create the community that's supportive for you. Beyond that, I would say that there's no end to the growth. It's a constant evolution. When I heard the idea that people attend the school multiple years in a row, my first thought was, you must not be doing something right. And now I see the value of having that community over time, the value of slowing down with people in a room together, how material looks through the lens of us. That landscape is constantly changing. And there's no end to the learning and growth that occurs. And so it's invaluable in that way to provide a space for our ongoing growth. So much has changed. So the level of income has changed. The number of clients has changed. My own sense of stability and being the source of my own wealth, abundance, and joy has been solidified in a way that I never saw possible and continues to grow. And that might be maybe the most significant takeaway from me, knowing that I can create the business and the life that I really want, and to slow down with the idea of what do I want and what could it look like, and what would it take to do that. The reason I kept going was I had an inner knowing that this was right for me. And I wasn't wise about it. I don't want to character myself as having any sort of wisdom. I did because I listened, and I was scared. I really had no other option. There were other options in the world, and I chose to not have any other option. So I was all in. I was all in, and I really saw possibility to this profession in ways I hadn't seen before in my life. And I loved it. I still love it. So stopping was never an option for me. And I was fully supported in that. And it's one of the things I love about this school is that the way you show up is reciprocated back to you through the faculty, through Carolyn, through the material. It's so valuable to foster an environment where you can really create the business you want. I saw possibility there and kept going. In some ways, that sense of self has become what coaching is, where the edge of growth and learning is always. And it's the thing that we bring more than anything else to our coaching and what we have to offer those that we serve. And it's been invaluable to access that in a deeper and more meaningful way, and to do that in alignment and with community. It's been really profound. Yeah, I'll just say there's just so much growth available for us. And like that was one of the things that was daunting to me at first, is like I had an intuitive sense of what was available. And I wanted to think about how to get there and be practical about how to get there. And so much of this is learning to trust my own inner guidance, and not in a way that necessarily always makes sense. The thing that comes to mind, like the difference in how I feel now versus how I started, is I feel like I have access to create what I choose. I feel like I have stability. I have access to think about and continue to think about the business and life I want, and to go create it. The word stability keeps coming to mind, like feeling stable in who I am in my business, feeling stable in my business, and feeling stability and connectedness with the world around me. For someone considering joining the CFJ school, I would say if it scares you a little, then do it. But for some people, I've met many people that are doing a lot of different coaching programs. And it's so valuable because my experience is you're going to get something here that you don't get in any other program. This isn't about coaching. This is about you. And this is about creating clients and creating your business in a way that serves you. For me, I was not someone who was doing a bunch of programs. I was someone who was looking for a program and was really looking for, again, my stake in the sand, like to double down on me, to move to the next level. And this was unequivocally the right program for me. To grow, to be in community, to be challenged, to look at my blind spots was so valuable. And so I would simply say, do it, especially if it scares you a little bit. The word or phrase I would use to describe my experience in the program right now is expansive. I feel like there's so much I could share about the program, about my experience in the program. There are not many places in my experience in the world like what Carolyn has created, coaching or otherwise. This is a place where people come together and are supporting each other unequivocally, and are being challenged in a loving way, and are supported in taking on whatever is occurring for them and whatever is challenging for them. And that space alone is invaluable for us as humans. It's invaluable for us in our business. And I just acknowledge Carolyn and all the faculty for creating it and being so dedicated to the experience that I've had, and I know others are having as well.